Finally, after more than 10 years being on YouTube, I am now an award-winning content creator. Let's get on with the Q&A. Okay, for the very first question, describe the type of person you would hate to travel with. Woo! I guess I cannot travel with people who are just not present, if they're always on their phone, or they are just going to IG spot after IG spot to take a photo and like, okay, next, what's next? I'm bored already. Like people who just cannot sit still and just be present and just connect with the place. I'm sorry, I can't. Okay, and then many questions by Mr. Alvin Tant. How do I manage creative fatigue? Okay, it's very simple. I just head down for a jog or exercise. Like this is one of the most useful things I do for myself if I'm feeling very fatigued creatively, is to just go down, get myself out of my house, out of my workroom, and just move my body, exercise, especially when I don't bring my phone down when I exercise. So it really helps me to just decompress and just allow my brain to expand back. And then what happens after my trips? Do I rush to edit my content excitedly? Excitedly, I mean, okay, for trips that are really epic and I know that I capture very good content, then I will be very excited to start editing it. But I mean, after many years of doing this, the excitement is more mild. With very awesome trips or content that I have captured, it comes with a lot of pressure to create the best damn content. There'll be a lot of pressure for me to find like the best music and do the introduction as best as I can. There's a lot of pressure to make sure that the video is really good, so it's kind of like that. And the next question, could I name 3 things budding creators should take note of as they grow? I guess the very first thing is to focus on your craft, focus on getting good at what you do. Just be very patient in getting good at your craft. And the next thing I would say is, okay, it's going to be a little bit controversial, but be open to doing free things pro bono if it helps you or it leads you to open new doors, new opportunities for your career. To even spend your own money or invest in projects, passion projects, explore, experiment, spend money on things that would help you open new doors, that would give you some sort of a new return other than just go for jobs that pay you the bills. Okay, next few questions are from Aiken Chow. Yo, that guy, I mean, he's just one of the most genuine Singapore YouTubers out there. My wish is to have like a good meal, just sit down with him and have a good meal and talk about life. Anyways, first question, do you have a team? What are some aspects of your work we don't see off camera? So talking about having a team, I have never had a team before. I have worked with people for ad hoc projects but never had like a full-time team. I mean, the pros of having a team is to have people to bounce ideas with you, to help you do all of the heavy lifting, help me edit stuff, and to help me take banger shots. That would be really nice, but at the same time, having a team is also quite stressful. Like, I don't want to have the pressure to take on jobs that I don't want to take just so I can pay my team. It's a very scary thing. Like, I always want to have the flexibility and freedom to do whatever I want. So it's a very tough thing, but I'm always open to, in the future, start operating as a team. That I'm not closing the idea off. So when it comes to aspects of my work that you don't see off camera, I mean, I spend a lot of time just, researching, brainstorming on potential ideas, potential trips, a lot of editing, a lot of frustration over finding the perfect music for my videos, a lot of emails, meetings with potential clients that don't end up anywhere, and a lot of time staring at this cute little face. Okay, next one. Did you ever work for a company, someone else? If you're talking about a full-time job, then no. I've never had a full-time job before. I don't know what it's like to have annual leave, to have bonus, to have a boss, to have a fixed salary, a stable salary. I did have a few, part-time jobs to help me tide over when I just started freelancing, but full-time job, no. Next one, how is married life? Married life is good. It's same but different. Not much has changed just because we've been dating for 10 years before we got married. Other than the fact that she moved in after we got married. So that was just the biggest thing for me. I'm very used to having my own space. Yeah, it took a while for me to adjust to that, especially when it comes to Mel working from home. I'm just not used to having someone share the same working space as me, and sometimes it can get a little bit distracting, but still good. All is good. Next question. Love your travel videos. Thank you. Do you shoot in 4K native or 1080p upscale and post? I shoot only 4K. For my YouTube channel, I want everything to be in crispy mode. Alright, next one. How do you feel when you are making banging content and it doesn't get the recognition? Oh. I could just give the politically correct answer and say, it doesn't matter, views and engagement, whatnot. That's not the case, okay? Naturally, as a human being, I'll definitely feel disappointed. I felt disappointed a lot of times, and through my life coaching, I've learned I should process whatever emotion that I have and just feel and process things. That's the most important. If something doesn't do well, I feel disappointed. It's very natural. It's natural human feeling. I feel a lot better right now, and I also learned that I have now been able to separate between a winning result and a bonus result. A winning result is when I show up and create banging content, alright? That's a win. Everything else is a bonus. Next question. If one have never been to Japan before, which city would you recommend for their Virgin Japan experience? I would say Osaka, just because it's less overwhelming compared to Tokyo, and you can also take day trips to places like Kyoto, or even spend a few days at Kyoto to check out the beautiful traditional scenery, the temples, nature, and then you can also go to Nara to feed the deers for a day trip. So there's a lot of things from Osaka itself. Next question by Hui Chini. Do you use your Insta360 footages in your travel vlogs? Yes, I use the Insta360 or any 360 camera for any action stuff that I would like to capture, or just give a more unique perspective to my travel videos. It's a must-have kit. But the only problem I have with 360 footage is it's a lot harder to edit in post. Is there any cameras you recommend for beginners? I'm team Sony. I've been using Sony, so I only know Sony stuff. Go with maybe the ZV-E10 or the ZV-1. That's a good starter for beginners. If you could only visit one more country, what country would it be? It is very simple. It would be Japan. If there's only one country I could visit for the rest of my life, it would be Japan. Very easy. Love all of your videos, thank you so much. How did I start my YouTube channel? I have an entire video dedicated to that, so go check it out in the YouTube cards. How are you not getting more views? I dislike vlogs till I stumble upon yours. Oh, I'm very touched. The vlogging genre itself is very hard to stand out. It's very tough, just cause number one, you probably need to have a very interesting life, which is not easy. And I think it's the most important, especially for Singapore, is to have an explosive, crazy, cool, interesting personality, which I have my own unique personality, but I guess it's just not the kind of Singaporean personality that you usually see online. So I don't know, man. Number 4 would be to have a unique identity. So for example, if you are an expat staying in Singapore, naturally that would have more interest. And lastly, I would say maybe the travel genre is already very saturated, plus it's also maybe not the most popular niche in Singapore, at least for Singapore audiences. I don't know, it could be 1,000 reasons why something works or why something doesn't work, but all I know is that I love to create travel related content, so I'll just continue to do so, evolve, and just see what works, what doesn't work. What is your thought process when creating travel videos in terms of storytelling and production wise? To be honest, I always plan from the macro to the micro, so I will always think about the angle of the video. That's the most important, the title, the thumbnail. Then after that, I will go into what in the video would make it interesting, little points of interest. And after that, I will script my intro, and then everything else in the middle and the end, I'll just go with the flow and see what interesting bits I can add. But that's the idea. Next one, how do you manage to vlog and shoot in public with people staring at you? I find it extremely hard to completely ignore them. Okay, for me, I'll try my best to find a quieter spot. That's what I usually do. And if I can't, and I find myself in a crowd, then I just build a wall around it.
Build that wall. Build that wall.
And just focus on telling my story, because that's the most important. People just, walking by, staring at you and passing by, they're gonna stare for 3 seconds and then just move on with their life. They're gonna forget about you anyway. So your story is just, and what you have to say is just the most important thing. So that's what I tell myself. Whew. Beautiful chill spot over here. How do you find your travels? Well, basically I say most of my travels are covered by client work. I'm also paid to produce social media content, marketing videos for tourism boards or travel companies. Just marketing videos for brands that are involved in the travel space. It sounds like a dream. It is kind of a dream. And I would say for the rest of my other trips that are not sponsored or covered by companies, I just use my own pocket money, which I earn from producing videos again for companies back home in Singapore, producing marketing content. That's how I earn my money to fund for my travels. And I see in a way that I go for trips, I always justify myself that it's always good to invest back into the content. And just so happens travel is very expensive content to invest, but it is always worth it 100%. Oh my gosh, we haven't had such a sunset in ages. Favorite travel memory of all time? Whew, it has definitely got to be the one at Finland. This particular day, I was going to a national park. I got lost in the middle of nowhere, and it was already almost close to 4 p.m. I haven't had my lunch. I was starving. I was damn hungry, and I was just roaming around the surrounding neighborhood, and I saw this old lady. I was trying to ask for directions, hey, is there any food around? Is there any food around? And she thought that I wanted to eat, and she just invited me into her home and made some sandwiches for me, and I was like, that was the most beautiful thing that has ever happened to me. Just this, pure human connection with a stranger. It was just damn beautiful. And best advice to someone who wants to venture into travel content creation but is broke. Okay, so first of all, you have to be very prudent with your spending. Especially for me, when I just started out, I try to save as much as possible. I'll try not to spend on the most expensive gear, because you really don't need the most expensive gear. If you need to have a part-time job, then so be it. Get a part-time job that still allows you some flexibility while still providing you with some pocket money. If you want to create travel content, you don't have to go far places to do it. You can go to Malaysia. There's a lot to cover in Malaysia, in Southeast Asia, where you don't really have to spend that much. So that would be my advice. Thanks for all the questions. Really, really good questions. I really like to go deeper and just share about my journey. And hopefully, you guys have picked up something useful. Feel free to leave more questions in the comments section, and I'll try my best to answer them. Give this video a like if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe to join in the adventure, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace. Woo!